Yo, we are back. Episode 10, man. Make some noise, man. 10 episodes, man.
10.
Great start, from episode 1 to now. Feel like we're making some good progress.
And having fun.
Yeah, and having fun. As guys who we've been on our friends' podcast, but never really had our own. I think we're really coming in our own. But once again, we're back. I'm Chris, known as Southside Woodall on Twitter, one half of the greatest tag team in the world.
It's your boy Barry, Lee Barry Season. Just don't call me my first name. But yeah, episode 10. Glad to be here. Who would have thought? Because, growing up, being a wrestling fan was kind of weird.
Yeah. It feels weird to, kind of be in the space now.
Yeah.
And, it's, in a way, it still is, but isn't wrestling feels like it's not necessarily a niche thing anymore. Mm-hmm. People are kind of really getting into it.
Yeah.
And it's people our age getting into it. It's not just you were a kid and you grew up watching it and you just stayed with it. Mm-hmm. Now it's you were a kid, you grew up watching it, but there's also a group of adults who may have what I'm saying?
Our demographic, black people who watch wrestling.
Yeah.
I was at work, I think yesterday, and I seen a guy with the Uso shirts, and I was like, "Hey, man." He was like, "Oh, snap. Well, yeah, what's up, my guy?" Yeah, so it's just happy to be here, man.
Man, wearing wrestling shirts out in public is so funny now, because every now and then you be you'll just be wearing the shirt. Obviously you like the shirt, but then it's
oh, snap.
You see somebody, you be like, "Oh, I love the shirt, man." I'm like, "Oh, oh, you want it? Okay."
All right, there we go.
Yeah, man. So excited. Got a lot to talk about today. Name changes in character, banner shows, etc. But I'm going to start off with a little something fun. In honor of episode 10, we are going to do the top 10 title changes. This is a personal top 10. It doesn't have to necessarily be the top 10 title changes of all time ever. It's just a personal top 10.
Our list.
Yeah, our list.
You don't like it? Make your own.
Yeah, make your own. If you want to leave one in the comments, go ahead. But title changes that meant something to you, it is not restricted to WWE. So if you saw something in New Japan, TNA, AEW, whatever, that's cool. So with that being said, do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Since I forgot we was doing our promotion. So actually I got a WCW one in there, but I don't mention. I'm gonna say CM Punk won the AEW title, just Unk still got it.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of a troll, not a real troll, but just a little troll. Number 10, I got Jinder beating Randy Orton. Just walk with me now. Just walk with me.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Nobody thought it was gonna happen.
I will give you that because I damn sure didn't think it was gonna happen.
Exactly. All right. So walk with me, and then it kind of was the stepping stone for these little international house shows because Jinder, WWE was looking to go to India
at the time.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Africa was coming ahead. Omos have a belt. So just a little stepping stone. Plus, hey man, the Mahara. It was you had to be there, man. Nobody would have thought. You feel what I'm saying? And then he beat Randy Orton, one of the ghosts.
Don't hinder Jinder, bro.
Hey, come on, man. What a time to be alive, man. I remember where I was that day.
Me too.
I popped. Number 9. I didn't know this was a title match, but this was one of the. This is what it is. This is one of the greatest matches ever. Mm-hmm. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc. Mm-hmm. I had no idea it was a cruiserweight title match.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say I got the number 9.
Okay.
That's one of the best matches of all time. People say.
Yeah.
And then I think that set the standard for cruiserweight titles. That might have put luchadors on the map. Mm-hmm. Rey Mysterio, one of the goats. Eddie, one of the goats. That set the tone for the Rey and Eddie rivalry over the years, which led to Dom. The Dom custody ladder match, and now we have what? Dirty Dom in WWE. So I got them number 9.
Nice.
8, I got Mankind versus Rock, Monday Night Raw, the huge pop.
So look, that almost made my list, but then I had to really think about it. But that's a good one.
Yeah. So I got Mankind, Rock, the Stone Cold glass shatter, Mankind won the world title. Who would have thought against the Rock?
I would say, and that's what turned the tide in the Monday Night Wars.
Exactly, yeah. So that's number 8. 7, I got the Seth cash in, heist of the century.
Okay.
Who would have thought? At that moment, looked like Roman. Well, Roman was on top of the world, Vince-wise, and then beating the Beast Incarnate and Brock, and then boom, music hits, heist of the century, set the standard for Money in the Bank cash-ins, really for me. 6, I got Cena beating JBL at WrestleMania for winning his first title. That was before my time, but just that's what set Cena on the next level because he was becoming the people's guy. Dr. Thugonomics led to the Sprinter belt. So John Cena 6. 5, I got Jeff Hardy Armageddon.
Okay.
Everybody growing up, you was a Jeff Hardy fan. You was doing the swanton bombs off the ladders in the house.
Hey, in 09, it was Jeff Hardy and Obama, bro.
Exactly. Like,
Jeff Hardy and Obama.
Jeff Hardy and Obama. You know what I'm saying? We was all throwing these up, you know what I'm saying? The hip gyrate, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, Jeff Hardy. The camera angle of the swanton bomb coming out of nowhere. Hell of a moment. I'm sure we all shed tears as a kid.
Yep.
4, I got Punk versus Cena, Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Honorable. The kiss goodbye. You know, I'm walking out of my hometown with this title belt. You or Vince can't stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Punk is Punk. Great moment. 3, I got Bianca and Sasha. WrestleMania. Black women fight the power.
Okay.
Monumental moment. Who would have thought? You know what I'm saying? Women, they didn't have like the best presentation, but we got the EST versus, you know, Miss Money, Sasha.
Yep.
Great moment. Great match. Was that the first main event women's?
That was the second, but it was the first time 2 black women main event at WrestleMania. Yeah. And I think it was the first women's one-on-one match.
Okay, there we go.
Main event WrestleMania.
So boom, number 3. Number 2, my 2 personal goats growing up. John Cena versus AJ Styles.
Okay.
Cena gets 17. AJ just growing up from TNA. Who would have thought he would have been in WWE? You get the dream match of our generation, I think.
Yeah.
Cena, AJ. And the best part, they didn't leave the ring. This was all in ring.
Yeah.
This was like, I didn't notice that till like somebody said it on Twitter.
Yeah, like
but
they never left the ring.
Never left the ring. Rope to rope, 4 corners. We just gonna go at it.
And I think the best thing about their rivalry, oftentimes, like dream matches, when it comes to like somebody coming to WWE after they've had a long career somewhere else, they don't always hit.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
So it was the fact that their rivalry, like I don't feel like it missed in any of the matchups.
Oh, nah.
That was great.
Cena still could go.
Mm-hmm.
AJ can still go. So I don't think we need a Cena versus AJ in 2025 because
Wouldn't hate it.
I mean I wouldn't hate it, but it's just you just never know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that personal dream match for me. And at number 1, the moment that set this cornerstone for WWE today. Roman Reigns beating Bray
with the
and Bryan, WWE Payback, the spear heard across the world. Shout out Travis Scott. Merch came in yesterday for episode 10.
It's a crazy day to shout out Travis Scott, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just so y'all know, it is June 17th, and Travis Scott was dissed by Pusha T today. So this is a crazy day to shout out Travis Scott.
The new era begun when Roman Reigns hit that 1, 2, 3. Who would have thought Roman, Paul Heyman, dream collaboration on the couch. Now this is a spoiler. So wait a minute, that's a Brock Lesnar thing. Camera angle, Paul Heyman. Yeah. Oh, believe that.
Amen.
I pop. You know, it was looking bad for WWE with the COVID going on. The pandemic era was looking really gray. But my tribal chief, he saved us all, man. The moment that changed everything in wrestling history, that's my number 1.
Amen. So, look, me and you do have a couple of similar title changes on our list. Some of them are ranked differently. So, I'm going to go through mine. At number 10, I have Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania 22. When I made my list, I'm sure just like yours, you thought about like moments, impact, how you felt within the moment. Obviously, that was a crazy year. That was the year Eddie Guerrero passed. Mm-hmm. You know, they gave the Rocket to Rey Mysterio, put it on his back, told a great underdog story, and ultimately had him overcome all the odds as the year that would ultimately get him coined as the ultimate underdog.
Yeah,
and he would win at WrestleMania 22 against Randy Orton and Kurt
Angle. That is the only wrestling. That is the only WWE DVD I have is WrestleMania 22. So I used to watch that. I used to watch WrestleMania 22 a lot. So that's shout out for that list.
So that's what I have at 10. At 9, I do have a Bianca match, but I have her beating Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. I feel like that was really pivotal for several reasons, especially since when she initially lost the title to Becky, it kind of just looked like a thing she wasn't going to recover from. That was one of those rare times where I was like, I know how people don't like to hear you say, like, let it play out. But, like, that was one of those times where I really, like, firmly believed. I said, nah, they're not just going to, like, kill Bianca.
I remember you called
like
me that SummerSlam. You was like, bro. I said, what? I said,
oh,
shit.
That was sick. Number 8, I have Punk winning that Money in the Bank. Obviously, as you stated earlier, monumental moment, monumental stakes. You know, the threat of CM Punk walking out of the company was very real at the time, and honestly, until the story was told, like a little while after, like I didn't really like. I really thought he was gone. And mind you, there wasn't many like other major wrestling promotions back then. Like I think Ring of Honor was still around. I think TNA was around, but there was no like big threat to WWE. So it was like, wow, he's really just gonna like walk out with the title and like that's it. So I thought that was amazing. It was one of the better matches in the Cena and Punk rivalry. A lot of stakes. Got Road Game John Cena in there. So I thought that was great. Number 7, I do have Cena beating AJ Styles to tie Flair. Don't gotta elaborate on that too much because as you said, it was, and as we talked about, like that was, dream matches don't often deliver when it comes to that type of stuff, but every match of theirs had delivered up until that point. And again, them not leaving the ring in this day and age is incredible. Number 6, I have Kofi Mania. Again, thought about moments, thought about impact. There have not been many black world champions in the history of WWE, as old as the company may be. It was very rare. I think at this point, Kofi was like the 3rd or 4th. If I'm not quite sure.
It was like him.
It was him, Rock. Like the list was very short.
Him, Rock, Ron Simmons, Mark Henry, and
like T. There were people that were world champion, but the list of people who were WWE champion very short. I think it was like him and Rock at the time. So that was big. As I've like grown more into being an adult, I'm understanding like how much not having having representation matters, especially in wrestling. Like my favorite wrestler is John Cena, but it could have also been different had there been more black superstars on TV in prominent positions when I was growing up. Like Booker T was there, but like imagine if Booker T was WWE champion, not just world champion on what the boss of the place at the time considered the B show.
Booker was like a heel, so you really couldn't like root
for him
too
exactly.
Much.
So I thought that was important. Number 5, I have Daniel Bryan winning at WrestleMania 30. Another one of those great underdog stories, and as we kind of talked about last week, there was a point where he got to the top and it was stripped away from him, and ultimately the whole year he climbs his way back. And while it wasn't in the original plans, like people made their voices heard, they showed that's who they wanted to win, caused them to completely alter the main event, and created one of the greater moments in wrestling history. Number 4, I also have the heist of the century. I remember when it happened, I was just thinking like, I was hoping like the next day they would be like, yo, like you can't do that. Like you can't cash in during somebody's match. And I thought like, you know what I'm saying? They reversed the decision. But like as time goes on, that I don't know that there will be another Money in the Bank cash in that tops that. It is probably the most spontaneous thing they could have ever done in terms of like with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashing in. So I have that in my top 4. Number 3, Daniel Bryan makes my list again, but in a different iteration. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve at All In last year.
Great match.
Great match, great story. Not a lot of wrestlers get to say they main event at WrestleMania and like main event at Wembley. Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson is one of them ones, man. Like I said, great match, great finish, great story. Sucks that he retired so soon, or it feels like there's a little more left in the tank. But I know he had neck issues and all that. But great way to go out, or one of the bigger moments to go out on. I'll say that. Number 2, I have Eddie over Brock at No Way Out in 2004. I ain't gonna lie, that's as close to a WrestleMania moment as you can get without actually being at WrestleMania, bro. Yeah. The arena went nuts when Eddie won that night, bro. Like it was a great match itself. At the time they were setting up for like Brock and Goldberg, but it was still just like everything flowed together so well that night for me. I thought like Eddie has a lot of good matches, but I thought like that was one of his best performances. I thought that was one of his best. And number 1, obviously I'm partially biased to this because I was there in attendance for the first time when it didn't go as it was supposed to, and for the second time when we got the what I like to call the Avengers ending. Number 1, in my personal top 10 title changes, I have Cody Rhodes finishing the story. I say this very often. There's maybe at this point in time, there's 3 to 4 moments in pro wrestling specifically that have brought me to tears or brought tears to my eyes. Cody Rhodes finishing the story was one of them. It's something about just the culmination of a lifelong, a lifelong journey of hard work, determination, seeing somebody get knocked down and picking themselves back up and doing what they have to do to ultimately reach that metaphorical brass ring that they talk about. So I like that moment is probably always gonna be like in my top one of wrestling moments for me. Like it was just I don't know if I could have forgiven myself if I wasn't there for that, to be honest. Like that's how big it is to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's what I have for my top 10. Riveting conversation, man. Riveting conversation.
I just wish we could have had Cena winning 18. Well, 18 on there. I just wish.
Oh, you mean winning 17?
Yeah, winning 17. I just wish.
I ain't gonna lie. So I thought about it, but like the ending just kind of like tainted it to me. I say this like all the time. Obviously, I'm probably not gonna go back and rewatch it like ever. But the match was so good until they decided to get Travis Scott involved. Like the match was good. Like the crowd was hot. You had a good little back and forth going. Like I felt like that was some of the best stuff we had seen out of Cena in a minute. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Travis Scott stuff just it kind of makes it unwatchable because you know it's coming at some point. It just makes it unwatchable. All right.
Great list.
So, Mariah May.
Who?
Mariah May, former AEW superstar, now with WWE. Got the name change we were all dreading. Mariah May is now known as Blake Monroe. And I ain't gonna lie, I wanted to crap on it at first because I literally found out as we went off the air last week, after the camera was off. But then they were like, oh, well, the Blake is for her niece and the Monroe is like an homage to Marilyn Monroe.
I'm not.
So I was like, I don't hate it. Like, I don't want to criticize it too much, especially if it has like some type of special connection to the wrestler. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I don't make a point to like complain about stuff that the wrestler isn't, you know what I'm saying, as mad about themselves. Mm-hmm. But I was a little disappointed. I will leave it at that. I feel like the middle ground to me, and I guess that's just because like we saw what happened with Ricky Starks, it was changed to Ricky Saints. Mm-hmm. But the middle ground to me would have been like Mariah Monroe, personally. That's just my thought.
I was, first I was like, damn, I'm kind of upset about these because, Ricky Saints doesn't really flow like Ricky Starks. Mm-hmm. And then we got Blake Monroe. And I'm trying to think if anybody else changed their name, but I don't think so. But this is just somebody mentions, but they was just like, you just got to get that AEW stink off of like the rest. So it was just like
AEW stink is crazy.
Well, the stench, because it was like because for me, I went back when Ego debuted. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, he looks familiar, but I don't know who this is. So then I googled his name, and I was like, oh, that's from AEW.
Yep.
But luckily, he didn't really have that much. He didn't really have too many matches, or he wasn't really that in the.
He wasn't featured as prominently as he is now.
Yeah, so it was like, okay, that makes sense. That we don't have to really change him up too much. But now we got like Ricky Saints and Blair. If I go YouTube them up, I'm gonna see a bunch of like old AEW matches. If I'm WWE, I really don't want to see that. So I kind of understand the point of like the name changes, get them a little fresh start. Plus WWE, they want to own the name, of course.
I would say, yeah, I think it's now that you say that, I do think it's partially about like the notoriety the person had prior to them crossing over. But it's definitely about like owning the name and like getting some money off of that for sure.
So yeah, I'm not too. I just wish some of the names would just flow a little better.
Yeah.
But you know what? They was like, look, when Finn came over from Japan, people didn't like his name, and now they like it. Yeah, I remember when Gunther changed his name, we wasn't really feeling it. Now it makes sense. So,
yeah,
just in
I
due
do
time.
Remember the Gunther one. The Gunther one was not well received, and now it just feels like
it feels perfect.
It feels normal. Yeah.
Yeah. So just give it time. Hey, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen.
Yeah.
Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. Long as time will tell. The matches are good, probably. Then we're gonna forget about this. So
yeah,
not too mad at it. In hindsight, but shout out to her niece. I'm just here for it, I guess.
Yeah. Also, I love what they've done. Like the first vignette that they did was like pretty perfect. So, it seems like they're going like all in on the character. No pun intended. So I'm interested to see where that goes. Rikishi. Is Rikishi overreacting?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna give some backstory to the people who didn't know. Essentially, Rikishi, I don't know the name of his podcast, but I saw some clips. Went on his pod last week and was upset that his son Jey Uso lost the World Heavyweight title after 51 days. He was just like, "Well, would you do John Cena like that? Would you do Randy like that?"
Breaking news. They have.
I was about to say they have. Matter of fact, I'm gonna find the tweet because I tweeted this out last week. But Randy and John Cena have both had way shorter reigns than Jey Uso. Like I want to make that very clear. Like, where is it?
John Raymond, that Rey Mysterio short title reign for a day.
Yeah, like Jay is not the first person it's happened to. It probably won't be the last. To be honest. Okay, there we go. You want to guess what John Cena's shortest title reign is?
I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
Wrong. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, bro. You want to know what Randy Orton's shortest title reign is?
Now I'm gonna say 2 weeks.
Wrong. 11 minutes. Jey Uso is not above John Cena and Randy Orton.
Bro, Roman was champ for like 5 minutes.
Dog.
Like, it has happened before.
Sag, would you do it to them?
It has happened.
Here's my thing, bro.
Bro, we have seen, like, even with Seth, when he won Money in the Bank against Roman, champion for what, 5 minutes?
Dog. It happens to everybody, bro. Like, the business is the business. But my thing is, so I will say this. Part of me understands that he is a father and he is looking out for his son.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I understand that.
Part of me understands that he is a father looking out for his son. But another part of me is like, the Samoan dynasty has gotten so much over the history of the WWE that there should never be a complaint, bro.
Even though just the last 5 years.
Yeah.
We didn't have to go back.
We don't even got to go that far back. Past 5 years. The Usos together are the longest reigning tag team champions in the history of the company.
They are now considered the greatest WWE tag team of all time.
Yeah. Longest tag team champions in the company. Roman Reigns has had one of the longest reigns in the modern era.
In history.
That is crazy. Like 1,000+ days.
1,316.
Jey Uso won a Royal Rumble and threw out John Cena, bro. Jey Uso tapped out Gunther at WrestleMania and damn near killed all Gunther's aura. Like, the list goes on.
Then looking back, it's like, if you want to be mad at anybody, bro, go for Solo. Like, go for Jimmy. Like,
and I literally tweeted that. Like, it wouldn't even be Jimmy because I feel like Jimmy's gotten enough, to be honest. Like, you main event at WrestleMania. You got a one-on-one match with your brother. And I tweeted, I'm glad you said that. If Rikishi should be shooting for anyone to get better opportunities, it's Solo. Solo is arguably the third to fourth most important person in the Bloodline story and has not had a WrestleMania match, bro. WrestleMania 39, he just walking down to the ring with Roman Reigns in the main event, gets ejected, comes back, calls Cody Rhodes the main event anyway. WrestleMania 40, it's just a run-in for John Cena to come beat up, bro. Like, WrestleMania 41, he walking out with his more talented cousin to win who's going to win the United States Championship from somebody who he's had 1 billion matches with. You shooting for Jey Uso when they put the rocket on him in spite of other probably more, again, I don't have a problem with Jey Uso, but there are more talented wrestlers than Jey Uso on that roster.
Listen, man.
That arguably could have been in this spot.
Money
there is
talks.
arguably a better storyline that was maybe sacrificed in favor of Jey Uso. Because a lot of people were like, well, the better story for John Cena is to, like, win the Royal Rumble, decide to challenge Gunther, lose, and then climb his way back one more time before retirement. Triple H said, nope, I'm going to put the rocket on Jey Uso. You going to beat Gunther. It might be 50-something days, but, like,
it's literally a video of Hunter telling Jey, yo, I'm going to put a rocket.
Dog, I'm not going to watch that documentary, but literally in the teaser on the commercial, it's like, yeah, I want to put the rocket on your back. Like, okay, bro.
Like, to your point, like, to me, Solo has been one of the best characters. Like, the Street Fighter gimmick in NXT was amazing. Mm-hmm. The Enforcer, the stale face, I'm not going to laugh at nobody with Roman is great. Now this character where he's like a funny mob boss.
Yeah.
And he hasn't got like a single title match
Dog.
in like probably since he won an NXT title, the fake for like a minute.
Well, I will say the two biggest opportunities solo. Well, I'll say three, since he got like 2 title matches. There's been like 2 to 3 big opportunities for Solo. There was the Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot he did go against Cody in SummerSlam.
Yeah, I was about to say the Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam, and then the Cody Rhodes match on the premiere of SmackDown last year.
Okay. Yeah.
But other than that, like, there have not been a lot of big opportunities for Solo. So if Rikishi is gonna shoot for anybody, it should be Solo Sikoa. I promise you, Jimmy and Jay are perfectly fine, and I'm pretty sure they finna reform the Usos, so they're good, bro. But Jay has gotten a lot of opportunities in spite of like other talented wrestlers. He has been given the ball like on more than one occasion. So I don't get what the complaint is about. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I understand that he is like a father who just like wants to see his son in the best position, and that's okay.
Like 50,
but like
50,
also in reality,
come on, bro.
yeah, it's like come on. So that was a funny crash out to me. I was like, I don't know what else you
we
want.
knew it was coming too. We were just like, nah, when this episode gonna drop, and then boom.
I was like, I don't know what else he wants. I really don't. All right, so AEW did another 4-hour show. I almost made it to the end. I won't lie to you. Actually, I did make it to the end, but I got some notables. Swerve and Ospreay 2. Great match, as always. As typical of any Will Ospreay match, the clip will always be unloaded, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's on TV. Doesn't matter if it's on pay-per-view. The clip will be unloaded. Great match. The post-match kind of ties into like a story that went on throughout the night, which was like the Young Bucks interfered, handcuffed Swerve to the ropes. They was finna super kick him with the Reeboks he has, but they put thumbtacks on the bottom. Will Ospreay jumps in, saves Swerve, left a bloody mess. And then, okay, let me get to the Hangman stuff, and then I'll kind of weave the story in. So, Hangman was supposed to come out to speak, but the Death Riders had basically, I guess hog tied him is a way to put it. Hog tied him, like his entry music hits. They got him out there with duct tape, like just kicking him around. No, listen, because I really enjoyed it. I will say this.
I'm just trolling.
So look, I like where it went because it seemed like the initial mission that the Death Riders were on, which was to like get people in AEW to like realize their potential and like be better. That's ultimately what they were trying to instill into Hangman. Like Moxley is sitting there telling him like, I hope you bring your best. I hope you don't bring like the remorseful person you've been, because like I need somebody to step up. Somebody needs to step up. So I enjoyed that. But this all arcs in as far as the Bucks and the Death Riders thing, because later on in the show, like Hangman says, like the Bucks tell Hangman like, yeah, we did this for you, as they have before, saying we took out Ospreay for you, or we were trying to take out Swerve for you, blah blah blah. He's like, look, stay out of my business, stay out of Ospreay's business, but in the end, he's like, and stay out of Swerve's business too. I said, what? He stuck up for Swerve? Like, crazy character development going on, man. Like, I say this every time we talk about Hangman. One of the better redemption stories going on in wrestling. Mm-hmm. And in that segment, Swerve happens to overhear the conversation as well. So, I'm interested to see where that's going. I am interested to see where that is going.
I'm gonna tap back in when basketball season ends. It's just because of Wednesday, just be so chaotic because of basketball. But I'm gonna get back in for sure. Yeah, I do love wrestling. It's
a lot going on, man. This was a fun little tidbit. MJF was dressed as MVP.
That was hilarious.
I thought that was cool. I thought that, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was looking at first. I was like, why does that look familiar? And then like they showed like the back with the letters. Yeah. I said, oh, that's what's going on. So I thought that was a fun tidbit. Kenny Omega got smoked, bro. Kenny Omega got smoked.
No, I seen the video.
They were doing the contract sign.
The blood gushing. I was like, bro, what is going on?
They had him spitting blood like an anime character. But I am geeked for the next chapter of him and Okada, truthfully. Like the video package really like hyped me up.
He joined the Callis family, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. I don't think he fully joined. To be honest, I feel like Don Callis kind of just did it to like spite Kenny Omega, but I don't think Okada has like fully committed to joining the family. I think it was just, or I should say, I think Okada did it to spite Kenny Omega, and in the same vein, like Don Callis probably did it as well. But yeah, that was brutal, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like the one thing I do love, occasionally when like a wrestler has one of those injuries, it's like it seems like they're not supposed to wrestle again. It feels very real once they're back on the screen, and like it's being used against them. Because every time Kenny Omega gets punched in the abdomen, like, the commentary reminds you, like, yeah, like, you know, he had, like, 2 feet of his intestines removed, bro. Like, I'm like, oh, damn, like, maybe he shouldn't be wrestling. Like when Randy Orton gets slammed on his back and he starts holding his back, I'd be like, oh, yeah. It's like, I forgot he's not supposed to be doing this shit. So, like, I like how they bring that real aspect into it. So, when Okada elbow drops him and then elbow drops him again while they're trying to roll him out on the stretcher and he starts spitting up blood, I'm like, for a minute, I'm sitting there like,
please.
Hey, I'm like, hey, bro, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Like, maybe you should not be doing this, bro. But yeah, so those are my little tidbits from AEW. I wanted to kind of write on Mercedes and Tony Storm, but honestly, I'm confused at what's going on right now. I'm hoping it picks up soon because I'm a little confused. With that, getting our SmackDown review, our Raw review. And then we will discuss the semis for the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and that should be it. All right. So, John Cena. I feel like me and you have different opinions on this, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. Just in hindsight, I'm not going to lie. I'm like I said before, I'm liking this Cena Little Hill run. You know, I'm not the run, but just like the presentation. The all black Titantron, just the Cena on the screen, him cutting the music off. That gets me every time. You sound smart to a dumb man, John.
Elaborate.
You know, he's like, you know what, guys? I had your food all along. I knew what would happen. I don't know. I'm just being, just talking. But he was like, I knew what would happen. I'm like, where's he going with this? I knew Punk and Rollins, they would. Well, he was like, well, I didn't win the Rumble. Cool. Well, I'm John Cena. I ain't got to qualify for no Inner Chamber match. I can just say I can just enter the Royal Rumble. I can just enter the match. All right, you got me there. See, I knew Punk and Rollins with View, and I could just pick up the bones. Interesting, John. All right, okay, all right. See, I knew Cody wouldn't align himself with the final boss.
Okay.
All right, okay, John. See, I knew Cody couldn't turn his back on the people. He wanted to be the good guy. He wouldn't cheat to beat me, or he would fight it the right way. All right, John. See, I knew if I got Randy at home, he would be distracted. I could beat him there. See, I knew Ron couldn't beat me one-on-one, so he just had to get released. I knew Ron would attack me, and now you would get all worked up for the people, so why would Ron leave? All right, John, bro. You know what?
So you're not going for it, basically.
I'm not. In hindsight, it makes sense. Because like we said on Twitter, finally some explanation. Because we've been like, all right, bro. Ever since EC, nobody has said anything about The Rock.
Yep.
Who knows if this is a shoot, work, hindsight, we don't know. But just something, the whole, we had to sell tickets because TKO was scared even though it was a month left. Yada, yada, yada. We had to bring The Rock in. Let's tie him into the storyline. All right, bro. Then the whole, I got a team with Logan now. So, this is all part of my genius master plan. Hindsight, okay, you got me. But you can fool them. You can't fool me, man.
So, listen. I guess I might be somebody that's fooled. Because, it makes more sense. And all I remember, this might have been, episode 3 or 4 or whatever, when we were kind of, in the middle of the run. I said, I do not want John Cena to get to the end of the run after it's all over and explain, and then like you know what I'm saying you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want it to be explained and laid out on TV in front of me while he's in character.
Yeah.
I feel like that was done. Do I feel like it could have been done earlier? Absolutely. Do I feel like he could have said like around WrestleMania, because he said he didn't sell. He ultimately said in his promo like, I didn't sell my soul to The Rock, but that's the conspiracy theory y'all came up with.
Yeah.
I would have been fine if at around WrestleMania or after he had beaten Cody Rhodes, he had just been like, you know, I didn't sell my soul, but where he said in the promo he says he made himself an unpredictable opponent.
Yeah.
I wish he would have just said that like earlier on.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at it. It do make sense, but just breaking the fourth wall, I'm just like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
the tying together of it was more so important for me. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. Like the whole, Randy, I got him in St. Louis. He's gonna be distracted, and then the whole R-Truth, Ron Killings thing. All right, you know, people still don't know about that. We're just gonna let time tell. And then now with the whole, you know, old Cody, I knew he wouldn't turn his back on y'all because you know he didn't want to cheat and
there's some stuff in there that makes sense.
Yeah,
though,
it makes sense.
So to me, there's the aspect of where he said making himself an unpredictable opponent, because nobody expects John Cena to cheat. Nobody expects John Cena to be the bad guy after like 20-something years. So that makes sense. The using his seniority for the Elimination Chamber makes sense, because the Elimination Chamber is technically the last chance at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
In addition to that, yeah, you kind of did know Punk and Rollins was going to melt down. That's not the only two people in the chamber. I'll give you that. Yeah. So that does sound a little wonky, but I get that because they're not the only two in the chamber. But that makes sense. Knowing that Cody wouldn't align himself with The Rock also makes sense, because I feel like if you're a fan of the product, like, you know, like, Cody is who he is. He's always, like, stuck true to his morals, his values, all that. So I think, like, a lot of that made sense, and I was kind of glad he tied it in. But Cody comes out in this promo and he also makes an interesting point. Like, in a sense, he's kind of saying what you're saying. Like, yeah, you want to sound smart, but like, what about you getting pinned at Money in the Bank like 14 days ago? Like, what's that about? Like, like that was a part of your plan too. Like, what's really going on? So I see where you're coming from, but to me, all I wanted was like a cohesive tie-in and for it to be explained. It should have come earlier. That is my only real complaint. You should have said a long time ago, like, yeah, I didn't sell out to The Rock. I just simply, you know what I'm saying, made myself.
This probably would have been perfect, the Raw after Mania.
Definitely.
Just the whole, like the weight, the drawn out stuff. But, you know, like I said, it makes sense. You know, you tied in Randy, you know, the whole Ron Killings, R-Truth thing. We, you know, who knows? We don't know. We might not ever know, but that's cool. Like it made sense. I'm glad he did it. But just when you open up that third eye, you just be like, come on, bro. Like, you can't fool us. But, hey, what a segment.
Yeah. In addition to the segment, we got Cody in the segment. We got LA Knight. We got Randy Orton. We got a Randy Orton and Cody teaser. Randy ultimately was like, hey, look,
I don't care.
If I gotta put you down to get back to John Cena for, you know what I'm saying, robbing me of what was mine, that's what I'll do. So with that,
also, hey, I just want to shout out LA Knight. You in the ring with three guaranteed Hall of Famers,
man,
and you might have got
getting his shit off.
You might have got the best pop. I don't know.
Getting his shit.
You got to go back and look.
Bro.
But hey, he been hot for what, 3 years now?
3 years, dog.
And like, I'm glad nobody hasn't turned their back on him. You know, whenever he gets his moment, if he gets his moment, that's gonna be like in the next 10 lists, because it's gonna be a moment, man.
That shit might change the world. That shit might change the world. So yeah, after this promo, we also get John Cena getting attacked by R-Truth. But after this promo, we also get a King of the Ring qualifier containing Randy Orton, Aleister Black, LA Knight, and Carmelo Hayes. Hey man, Carmelo ain't eat no pin. That's all I know. Hey, Carmelo Hayes ain't eat no pin, bro.
Noticing.
I'm noticing.
Look, I'm gonna say, I said it last week. At first, I wasn't a fan of these fatal 4-way matches, but they letting everybody get their shit off. You really believe that somebody's gonna win this match who doesn't win this match? Like, Aleister had his moments. Carmelo. I was like, that boy good.
They showed somebody clipped. It was like 51 seconds of him just like going ape shit on everybody in the match. We gonna get our boy
We on the
for
way,
the end of the year.
Then like the teaser, him looking at Braun. Hey man, them NXT 2.0 days. If you know, you know.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned that. Do you think? I do think they're gonna add someone else to the group. Do you think like that's the direction they should go though? Because I'm a little iffy on it. I have a couple of people who I think should be added.
I'm not mad at them three because they look like when you see Braun and Bronson walking together, you just be like, damn, bro, can anybody like really beat them?
That shit is terrifying.
Like even last night when Heyman coming down the ring with Bronson, I was like, bro, that man look like a beast, like
dog.
So I don't like it. Got it, but it has to. It just like you said, it just has to fit. I think Carmelo would fit in well with them. I'm not gonna lie. I think Ilya could fit in well with them. He got the swagger. It just got to fit. Like they got somebody has to match the swagger. Put on like great matches because we know all three of them they can go, and then be like a believable Paul Heyman guy. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. I just hope that it would work.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm actually thinking. Well, he hasn't. Shoot, he might be on TV tonight. I don't even know because we're recording. But I was gonna say, I think Ricky Saints would be a good fit.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Just to kind of like, I guess, kind of get his name out there because again, like we always talk about, like some people who are just like WWE fans are just WWE fans, so you don't know how a main roster audience reacts as opposed to like an NXT audience where like I think they watch most of like other pro wrestling companies. So I think if Ricky is going to be on the main roster soon, I think that would be a good way to, other than just obviously having him just wrestle and get over, I think that would be a good way to get his name out there, get him over, and then eventually set him up for like a babyface thing kind of down the line. But yeah, Randy Orton advances out of that match due to some interference and also an RKO on Mello onto LA Knight, who did eat the pin. But I kind of wanted to bring up the interference too because I believe every King of the Ring match has had interference. I don't know how to feel about it because there are overlapping stories being told in like each of those matches, or there were.
That's at least, I think that's a good part about it. At least like it kind of makes sense storyline wise.
Yeah. So obviously, like LA Knight is clearly going after, as I'm calling them, the Vision until they get a real name. Like I think it's a layup to me. That's what they should name them. But yeah, like LA Knight going after them. As a result, they're coming after LA Knight. What's the other matches that had some?
I think LA attacked Braun.
Yeah, he attacked Braun.
Then with the women, you had Raquel and Rhea. They went back and forth.
Yep.
I'm kind of a little worried about that now, but we gonna see.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
So like, yeah. Had it.
I'm one of them. Like I'm one of them storytelling guys. As long as it makes sense, and it also helps. Like whoever takes the pin, they don't look that bad. Because even like with last night, like LA Knight pushed Bronson
Reed
like,
off yep.
Because we know like if Jay beat Bronson clean, it would be like chaos. So.
Still is chaos, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm not too mad. I'm not too mad because like plus I said, each match everybody's looking good. Everybody's getting their spotlight. You know, even like last night, you know, nobody wanted to see Penta get cut in half, but he got his get back last night. Mm-hmm. So to me, everything is making sense. The matches have been great. You know, it's kind of an afterthought to me because the matches have been great. Because I'm not really too mad at like the interferences. Okay. And plus, it's a fatal 4-way match because like it's kind of you kind of expect the chaos just a little bit.
Oh, I know what I forgot to put on here. I put all of the qualifier matches on here, but I forgot to put this one in specific. Bliss advances out of her qualifier, which was her, Charlotte's, Alba Fire, and Candice LeRae. I don't quite remember my prediction from last week. I know I predicted her winning. I know I said that's what I wanted to happen, but I know like we were like, it might be Charlotte. Yeah. But yeah, that was a good one.
Good, hey, clever ending, I must say.
Very clever ending.
Had me fooled. I thought Charlotte had it.
Jacob Fatu. I ain't gonna lie, I want to ask what he'll do, but I think we both know what he's doing. And I both think we know where this is leading. But I'm gonna just say this, because I'm pretty sure we both know where it's leading. Having someone who has been on the bench for a year, who is probably about to be inserted into one of the bigger storylines on your brand, debut on main event is very stupid. I think it's the dumbest thing you can do. I think you should have just waited and had him debut next week on SmackDown, like he is clearly going to do, or this week, I should say. Waited till this week and had him debut on SmackDown instead of putting him on a pre-tape or a dark match or whatever in Lexington, Kentucky. Again, he's going to be seen next week, and I would bet the house that Hikuleo is going to debut and beat the shit out of Jacob Fatu this week, bro. I would bet the house on that.
To me, well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I am mad. I was kind of confused. I was like, well, why on a dark show? But I forgot everybody's not on the internet. Everybody don't know about main event. So hopefully, the shock value is still there.
I think it will be for like people who are in the arena. But like, obviously,
I don't know.
There's just not something I would have done, bro.
No, me neither.
In hindsight, or in a better, more recent comparison, it's like if they would have put Jeff Cobb on main event and then had him like debut at Backlash like the next night. Like, why not make it the very first time the audience sees him? Yeah. Especially since you done already had him on the bench for a year. You didn't put him in NXT. You didn't do nothing with him. Like, he's just been on the bench. He is very clearly going to be a part of the bloodline because I saw the gear he had on. Like, it's very clear what they're going to do with him. So why not just wait? I thought that was stupid.
Yeah, I was kind of confused with that too. I don't know, like, what I know what the main goal is, but it's still like that just kind of killed the momentum. But like I said, everybody is not on the internet. I didn't see a lot of TikTok clips on. I know TikTok is big on wrestling community. I didn't see too many of those on there. So hopefully, the shock value is still there because I saw him like literally just reach up and just climb on the ring. So it's gonna be like, wow, that's a big ass dude. So hopefully the shock value is still there because that's really what matters. Who knows? Maybe it was just I don't know. Maybe somebody's flight got delayed or something, so they had to throw him out there. But I
know it's somebody else in the back they could have grabbed.
I don't know, anybody against Pretty Deadly. I don't know, but who knows? But
all right, got another qualifying match. Jade advances out of her matchup, which contained her, Nia Jax, Piper Niven, and I'm missing one. Jade, Nia Jax, Piper Niven, Michin.
Oh, Michin.
Okay, there we go. Been a lot of good work from Jade. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm pretty excited.
Told y'all, we just gotta.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, like she's clearly not on TV because she can't wrestle. No, she was legitimately injured. Obviously, she was still like, I will say, before she was legitimately injured, obviously she was still kind of a little green because the way her AEW matches went were kind of like
they were literally squash matches.
Yeah, squash mesh type of things. Some of them might have been like legitimate matches, but for the most part, they were like squash matches. Jay's been putting in a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's clearly showing up on TV. Every appearance I have seen from her as of late indicates that we're in for a good year for Jade Cargill FC. The Wyatt Six and Motor City Machine Guns. It feels like they're the story that's being told, and this is kind of based off like the backstage segments from the last few weeks. It kind of seems like they're about to try to throw the whole SmackDown Tag Team division at the Wyatt Six.
Okay,
and
that
maybe
I'm not
fail
mad
miserably.
At. That I'm not mad at, but like, I don't know if like the goal would be to put a title on, put the belts on them. I'm kind of iffy about that because I see people complain about the match, but I'm like, look, they wrestle like what every 6 months. It's been the intervals have been crazy.
I think they were only kind of going just because like they were hurt.
Yeah, I know.
But this is the first like non. So the stories that were involved in initially was kind of like, people who turned their back on family or like wrong people. So like at first it was like Chad Gable with like American Made,
and like Cross.
and then Cross and them. But now this seems like they're kind of doing more than just.
They're just letting them fight.
Yeah, like they're just letting them wrestle. So I'm not too mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad because like who doesn't want more wrestling? That's like the key. That's really the key to SmackDown. Just have good matches.
But so I don't know if I said this last week or if I said this. I think I said this on Twitter. I did say it on Twitter. I would let both iterations of the Wyatt Six fight. So I would let Gacy and Loomis like get a crack at it, but I would also let Eric Rowan and Uncle Howdy get a crack at it.
Yeah,
you have 4 male members. Why not? That's just my thought. But yeah, like I said, it seems like the direction they're going is like trying to throw like the whole SmackDown tag team division at them. I don't know if that results in them winning the title. Wouldn't hate it. I feel like because of the last time we saw them, which was like against like Cross and the Final Testament at the time, it kind of killed some momentum a little bit. So it feels like if you go this route, you kind of back into a corner and you gotta put the belts on them. I'm not sure though, but that's what it feels like.
But then my fear with if they do put the belts on, you have to make like a team feel so good or believable to beat them because it feels like they're like the evil. I don't want to say like they're like this team that can't be beat mentally and then physically. So if they have to, it has to be like a decent title run with like good matches, and they have to build up maybe one of these teams or maybe the team from Raw whenever the draft happens to make them believable and beat it. Yeah. Like it can't be no bullshit. That's one of my fears with the match, because SmackDown has the best tag division on the brands, and they have been
quite
cooking.
Easily. Yeah,
yeah, they have been cooking, and now I don't want that to just go away from like from a character act.
Very fair, very fair. All right, one more King of the Ring qualifier for the night. This one actually didn't have interference. I just thought about that. This was Cody. Alistair.
Okay.
Yeah, this didn't have interference. I didn't even it literally just popped in my head as I was reading it off.
Hey, we got Andrade on TV.
Hey, listen, we got Andrade on TV.
With Charlotte on TV, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Hey, we got Andrade on TV, and he ain't eat the pin either.
Oh, Naomi teasing the cash in.
Oh yeah, let's get back to it. Okay. So,
but hey, best character in the business.
First off, yes, absolutely. But I will say this: and they kind of did this with Jey Uso too. But like, I feel like the way Jey Uso's was done was a little more tasteful than the way Nia Jax's was done. It feels kind of lazy that they're about to like put Tiffany and Nia in a feud again after Nia had like just lost the Queen of the Ring qualifier, and like that was her way to like get a title shot. Is just like beating up on Tiffany. Mm-hmm. As opposed to Jey Uso's though, like you know what I'm saying. At that, like yeah, he just lost the world title, but like he's earning his way back in. Nia Jax lost the world title months ago. Lost to Tiffany Stratton like a month ago, and like her way back into the picture is just like beating up Tiffany Stratton.
I hope that's not the case, but yeah,
it seems like that's where
that would be sketchy. Would you rather have Nia do it or Charlotte do it? No, which one? No.
That's fair, but it's just like
yeah, it is lazy because I don't know.
It's a little lazy, and I just feel like if you were gonna go that route all along, I'd rather you have just been doing something on TV with Tiffany and Nia for like the last couple of weeks instead of like and give that spot in the Queen of the Ring to like Beef. What was B-Fab in the match last week? No, I don't think so. Like B-Fab or somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a little strange. It's a little lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if this Road Dogg writing this shit. I don't know if it's Triple H writing this shit. But yeah, it's a little lazy. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I will say this.
I don't know what you can have Tiffany do until Evolution, and then do you put her on?
I think that belt's coming off Tiffany sooner or later. To be honest with you.
Yeah, me too.
But I will say this. I do think her and Nia like have good chemistry in the ring, so I don't doubt that it'll be a good match because that seems to be the route they're going. But yeah, I do think that belt is coming off Tiffany sooner or later, and I think that's why she's kind of, I guess, recycling opponents, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. Back to the King of the Ring qualifier. I enjoyed it. First time we saw Cody Rhodes wrestle on SmackDown in, I think, about a month or two, to be honest. Maybe more. Because, you know, when you're a champion, you typically, in this WWE, you typically don't wrestle on TV as much.
Or be on TV.
Yeah. or well, they'll be on TV, but like wrestling.
I'm talking about my dog.
Oh yeah. Niggas be using all that PTO up. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. Like I said, Andrade ain't eat the pin.
Hey, man, your boy funny, man.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Hey, for that quick second, I was like, wait a minute, I kind of still got it.
Nah, fuck no. That nigga will not trick me again. I'm not gonna lie to you. So listen, that nigga absolutely tricked me when he beat LA Knight for the title that one time. And then after that, I was like, oh yeah, like nah, you won't trick me again, bro. That nigga's washed. That nigga's fucking washed. That shit's over. I feel very confident in saying that shit too, cause I ain't gonna lie. That run he had against Seth Rollins, where it was like I think it was like a little trilogy or whatever for the World Heavyweight title. I was like, oh yeah, this nigga still got it, bro. Like, I see it. Had some stuff with Cody. I was like, okay, like it's all right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the best, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's good enough for me to keep my TV on. Then got that belt up off LA Knight. I said, oh yeah, this nigga sucks. Like that, nah, bro. That shit's over, bro. That shit's over. That's who contract they should have let expire. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Come on, man. Not my boy Shinsuke.
Listen, I fuck with Shinsuke the long way, bro. I don't. Part of me doesn't know if he was. So here's what I think. I personally think maybe he was just like mishandled post NXT.
Oh,
once
sure.
like Triple H got him out, or once Vince pulled him up. But another part of me thinks, did this nigga really like give a damn? Like I feel like he just got to WWE and started coasting. Nigga, like I don't know.
I mean, man, I think he like 50 something. He old. I mean, not old, but he had better days behind him than in front of him. So they did. I think they did handle him a little bad. I don't know. Maybe his style just didn't fit what they got. But you know what I'm saying. He's still one of my boys. He's still one of the guys. So I'm glad we got a little bit of the flash that he did provide for us last Friday. Like you said, the LA Knight stuff that got fumbled, probably wasn't his fault because, he had some family issues. But, yeah, man. But the match this was a good match.
Nah, this was a good match.
Yeah. Your boy funny, though, huh?
Glad he got to take part in it. Who talking about Cody?
The Slim Jim table. I said, oh, brother,
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that shit made me kind of mad. Because I'm like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, like every time they pull out a table, like, do they got to say this shit, bro? Like, I'm like, bro, please just call it a table, bro. Man, like, you don't have to do this,
man,
bro.
Cody pulled the table out. I'm thinking they finna, I'm thinking, all right, somebody gonna put through the table. Maybe they write off, Shinsuke, or somebody, that way they write him off for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It backfires on Cody. All right, okay, that was unpredictable. I didn't see that coming. Andrade get his shit off. Damien get his shit off.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. When Cody was down on that floor for a couple minutes, I was like, niggas, Andrade about that fast. Like,
man,
I'm looking at this shit like, hold on, like I want Cody to win, but I wouldn't be mad. Like,
I'm looking at the hard camera. All I see is. I'm like, oh, brother, here we go. Not gonna lie, they got me though.
That's what we call fighting spirit, brother.
That man hit the L3 button on 2K, man.
That shit is crazy.
Momentum change. I said, oh, brother, here we go. I'm not gonna lie, he got me though. Cody Cutter. Oh, brother, Crossroads. 1, 2, 3. All right, man. You got me. You got me.
Home, man.
You got me. The man could be an underdog, man. Even though he's not an underdog, he's a 99 on 2K. He got me. All right,
Demon home, man. Demon home.
We back, man.
All right, Monday Night Raw. Actually, hold on. Well, do we want to get back into the Cena thing? Because there was 2 Cena segments on SmackDown.
I forgot all about that.
I didn't forget, but I was like, do we need to get into it? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like we need to. Like, I feel like it's.
Hey, man, like we every week, Punk is just one of them guys. Cena is one of them guys.
Yep.
They just got it, man. You can't teach what they got. The chemistry is still there. Them two love each other deep down. If this does happen, I will be there. If not, I will be sad.
I think that shit is happening. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, we can move into Monday Night Raw though. The Empress has returned. Asuka wins her Queen of the Ring qualifier.
Well, that's
against some pretty stiff competition, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I had Stephanie going all the way. I'm not gonna lie.
I really cannot remember who I picked last week. I ain't gonna lie to you. I cannot remember who I picked.
I think you picked Stephanie because we knew Asuka was.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
It just seemed like they was putting a rocket on Stephanie's back.
Yeah, this surprised me for like several reasons. Obviously, thrilled Asuka's back. Moving very well, by the way. Like some of the best she's moved in years. I think that time off definitely helped. I think they said she was like working hurt even before she like had the major injury that she had. So moving very well. But yeah, this match had like a lot to it. Very good. Obviously it seems like Raquel and Rhea is going to be a thing.
Oh gosh.
I am curious to where they take Stephanie Vaquera from this, because as you said, it kind of seemed like they were like putting the Rock.
Like the Rock.
You know what I'm saying? And not to say that she isn't, but it's just kind of like, okay, well, where do you go from here? The Intercontinental Championship scene is full.
Oh yeah, that's
the Women's World Championship scene is a bit muggy. We'll get into that a little later.
They might do that because that seemed like a good tease when they did bring her up.
The match they had like the night after WrestleMania was very good, so I wouldn't hate that. The tag team, she doesn't have a tag team partner, so obviously that's not really an option. So I am kind of curious where they take her from there. I do think Asuka winning was kind of the right choice, just because like this is the first time we've seen Asuka in like I think a year.
Yeah, 13 months.
Yeah, so this is a good first step to have her win. Obviously, I don't know if she wins her semi, which we're also going to get into later. But I think this was a good first step. I think it was good to reestablish her basically. And the presentation I can still confirm is very badass. So
oh yeah, the mask killer.
Shout out to
kind of
Asuka,
intrigued
man.
what they do now, because since the Damage Control has been
disbanded. Yeah,
disbanded.
they were like they quietly disbanded it after Dakota Kai's release. Dumb release still, by the way, very dumb release. Interested to see where it goes. You ready? You ready to talk about it? I wore the shirt today, man. Shout out my boy Bill, man. Hold on, let me put on the shades, man. Shout out my boy Bill, man. Shout out Bill Goldberg. Gunther, my brother. Not only are you next, you might be last. Saturday night's main event, Goldberg has laid down the challenge. One last time. 1-on-1. No cartilage in his knees. All heart. Goldberg versus Gunther in Atlanta, Georgia. For the World Heavyweight Championship. Tell us how you feel, Barry.
Not gonna lie, man. Cut in the promo. The guy gets it.
I was moved. I was so moved.
The music hit. Not gonna lie.
Yo.
Yeah, let's go. Then that man walked down the ring. I said, "Oh man, what are we in for, brother?"
Yo, that nigga.
Listen,
bro.
I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I haven't hit 30 yet, but you know what I'm saying. There's some days I'd be like, "God dang, bro."
Imagine what that nigga feels like.
Knees kind of hurting, man. You feel what I'm saying, man? I got to stretch some nights. I be on my feet all day, 9 hours a day at work. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you stretch out there, ladies and gentlemen. I said, bro, there's no way, bro. Walking to the ring, I'm like, bro, there's no way, bro.
That nigga was limping to the ring.
Then, you know what I'm saying? Shout out you and your boy, what's his name, Ebo,
yeah.
Ebo on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna lie.
Hey, listen.
The promo, you got me.
Nah, it was niggas arguing with Ebo on Twitter last week talking about Logan Paul is a better wrestler than Goldberg. No, the fuck he is not. No, the fuck he is not. And for this matter, he is not a better promo than Goldberg.
Listen,
either.
Man.
Goldberg ain't going out there talking about follower count, my nigga. Goldberg ain't going out there talking about an energy drink. Goldberg going out there talking about kicking ass, nigga. Hey, what are we talking about?
Man, straight passion, yelling.
Straight passion. Spitting in Gunther's face, bro. You seen Gunther trying to weave? Like, all right, bro. Like, you spitting. Like, no, nigga.
You see what I'm saying, man?
Fuck
he got me, man. You're next. I'm like, yeah, man.
Deeply moved by that shit,
I'm in there shadow boxing, you know what I'm saying? The music hitting. You know what I'm saying? I'm having flashbacks, you know what I'm saying? The smoke.
Deeply moved
then,
by that
you know
shit.
what I'm saying, man? I get on Twitter. See that man walk past the curtains backstage. I said, wait a minute. Buddy walking like Forrest Gump. Like,
that nigga, listen. That nigga was sweating.
Said, oh, my God.
That nigga was sweating. That nigga was limping.
Out of breath. I said, oh, my God.
Gunther is absolutely going to carry this nigga. But I want to talk to people in the IWC for a second. please stop booking this nigga Goldberg to have one final squash match before he faces Gunther, bro. That nigga cannot walk. That nigga cannot move. He said in the interview he fucking tore off his bicep. This is one and done, nigga. Like, there is no more Goldberg matches after this. And I want y'all to really know that. Stop booking this nigga to Spear Ludwig Kaiser. Stop booking him a jackhammer or some random dumbass on Monday Night Raw. This shit is happening one time.
In his hometown.
And it's in his hometown.
In front of his son.
In front of his kid, in front of his wife. And that shit is over, nigga.
Yes.
That shit is over.
There.
Yes, we will be there.
Yes, we will pop.
Yes, I will probably wear this same shirt to go see Goldberg, nigga. I might have a big gold belt by then. Yes, I will be screaming Goldberg when that nigga makes his entrance, nigga. Goldberg.
Yes, I will be shadowboxing when the pyro hits.
Will be shadowboxing, nigga. But stop fantasy booking that nigga to have anything other than this one match, bro.
Let me tell you something.
Because I promise you.
When this, listen.
That shit is over, nigga.
You better have your wings on your TV tray, your drink full, your napkins ready. Because by the time you run to the kitchen, this
that
match
shit
is going to
is
be
over,
over,
nigga.
I'm trying to tell you. I told my homeboy Will at work, I said, look, it's going to be spear, chop, chop, chop.
Oh, God. Listen.
Maybe another spear.
Listen, Gunther.
A fake jackhammer, power bomb, tap out a pin. That's it.
Gunther, you wanted a few heels I like when I actually like watch wrestling in terms of like, you know what I'm saying, staying in character as a fan. Like I cheer for you because you can wrestle. Do not at any cost let that old nigga pick you up for a jackhammer, bro. You seen what he almost did to The Undertaker a couple years ago, bro. Do not let that nigga pick you up for a jackhammer.
Unless
you tell William Goldberg he keep that shit limited to a spear, two spears max, nigga.
How much is Gunther weighing in the WWE?
Too much. Too much for that nigga to pick up. Do not let that nigga pick up Goldberg for a jackhammer.
It says Gunther is 250 pounds. Unless that boy get on the Ozempic by July 13th.
Nah, listen, bro.
You stay.
I wouldn't let that nigga do it if he was on the Ozempic.
You stay.
Do not let that nigga pick you up for a jackhammer, bro. That
2
shit
feet,
is over
brother.
with. This shit is one and done.
Hey.
We gonna see a couple spears. I don't even know if we gonna see Bill throw a punch, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey, what Gunther tell Pat? Listen, if you want to carry your daughter after this match, you better listen, Gunther. If you want to do anything after this match,
hey, listen, bro.
Don't let that brother pick you up.
Please, bro.
I don't care what rehearsals
Please,
y'all
bro.
do.
You got a family, bro.
Please.
You got a family.
You finna carry this business for the next 20 years, bro. Please do not let this man pick
That
you
nigga almost killed The Undertaker, bro. Damn wrong. Well, nah, actually, that's not appropriate. I'm not gonna say that. Leave that alone. Yeah, that nigga almost killed The Undertaker, bro. Anyway, AJ Styles, man. We say it every week. Still not washed.
My goat, man.
But I made sure I put it in parentheses this time. Still not washed. Fuck you, Logan Paul. Because clearly that nigga AJ Styles just didn't like you. That nigga said, "Oh, I gotta lose a WrestleMania bet. I'm not giving this nigga shit." I'd do the same thing if I had to lose him, bro. I was reading the tweet yesterday. Somebody said, "Yeah, like it was like, yeah, the uptick in like match quality from WrestleMania versus what we got at WrestleMania." It was like, yeah, clearly he just didn't want to work with this.
Listen, bro. It's like AJ. I'm trying to think of like a good comparison. It's like AJ and WrestleMania is like the number one seed in the NFL just losing the first week of the playoffs. Like it's just
AJ at WrestleMania is like James Harden in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Unfortunately,
it's just unfortunate.
You might get one or two good ones every now and then, but like for the most part, shit flames out. Only difference is it's not necessarily AJ Styles' fault. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what don't be clicking. I don't know if it's like production or whatever. It just it doesn't work all the time. Man, fuck Logan Paul, bro. But no, I was saying I read a tweet and they were like, it said, you know, AJ Styles probably found out he had to lose to Logan Paul at WrestleMania and was like, oh, Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens got to beat this nigga and I can't. Like, oh, bet. Like, I'm finna just bullshit.
I'll show you something, brother.
And I'm not opposed if that's some shit he did, to be honest, because like, hey, having to lose to that.
If I lose Logan Paul, I better be on a 5 match winning streak. All right, bro. We can work something out now, AJ. We got to sell these tickets, man.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The more I'm looking at the storyline, the more I'm like, you know, I bet Triple H pulled that nigga to the side and was like, hey, so look, I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is
the check cleared.
Check cleared. I can make you the Intercontinental Champion this year. Bad news. You got to go out to Las Vegas and eat the pin from this YouTube nigga. That shit is sick, bro. Like, I can no longer look at it through any other lens, bro. Like, I really think that's what happened right now. Because everything from even the stuff with Chad Gable / like Americano, like everything from WrestleMania till now is like, oh yeah, like this. Clearly this nigga's not washed. So
That's why he is my GOAT.
amen, say man. With that being said, an Intercontinental title match was made official for Night of Champions, June 28th, with AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. Dominic, I hate it had to be you, but Unk's still phenomenal, brother. We need championship gold. We need championship gold. And to segue into the other Intercontinental title picture, Bayley's back, and her focus seems to be solely aligned on Becky Lynch for essentially taking, both in real life and in storyline, her WrestleMania moment.
Brother, was that a work?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm watching it,
Brother, was
and like
that a work? Was that
a lot of that shit felt very real as I'm watching it. I'm like, Bayley telling her like, "Hey, yo, like step up to me." Like Becky see like Shaw want to move for a second. I'm like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, yeah, step up.
Wait a minute, bro. Like, you know, these two, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but,
like
hey.
some of that shit feels real personal, and it's like, well, she said this in an interview, but again, like either she's very good at her job and we just don't know, or like she really is like shooting. But she was like, you know, as far as the horsewomen go, she didn't really necessarily like gravitate towards like Charlotte and Becky. Like it was,
she was the last one. She was the last one to get called up. You know, Charlotte is Charlotte.
Yep.
Becky made a name for herself. You know, Sasha, we just generally love Sasha. And then, you know what I'm saying? Bayley just was
and they're like, her and Sasha are best friends. So it's like, I don't know how much of that shit was real. And we talk about like stuff being blended in reality on here very often. I want to keep it that way. I like that.
Yeah. Because
again, that storyline in particular makes sense both in real life. Like Becky Lynch took a spot from her. The stories and like the dirt sheets was that like Becky Lynch was just waiting for the right moment to come back. In an interview with Chris Van Vliet, is that how you pronounce it?
I think so.
Bayley was like, they was interviewing her during WrestleMania week, and she was like, "Yeah, well, like by the time this comes out, like people gonna be pretty." Yeah, she was like, "Yeah, people gonna be pretty mad about like what happened." I'm like, "Oh, like oh shit." So yeah, it's a good story, but also you gotta remember, Lyra's still lurking in the background, and like it seemed like she was a little taken aback by like Bayley, like you know what I'm saying, pushing herself to the front of the line.
But that silly shit be so funny. She was like, you know, I'm sorry I didn't text you back. Like, come on, bro.
Nah, that shit is funny as fuck. No, that should be so. I ain't gonna lie, that should be so funny when wrestlers do that shit. Like they be out for like a couple months, be a couple weeks or whatever. Like, yeah, like
you know, I called you, right?
Yeah, I called you. You ain't calling back. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like,
I was just busy, man. My
like,
bad.
oh, I'm sorry. I went home because I got my ass beat. But whatever. Like, fuck.
I don't be around my phone. Okay.
But yeah, man, like I said, Lyra was kind of taken aback by the whole Bayley essentially inserting herself to the front of the line, and it turns into she was like, well, Bayley's just letting her know, like, hey, I'm doing what's best for me. Lyra like, okay. But if you win that shit, like, just know I'm going to do what's best for me.
I will be there no matter what they do.
Yeah, basically, I will be there no matter what. I think I know where that leads, to be honest. There is an Intercontinental Championship match for the women's next week's Monday Night Raw. I think no matter what, it ultimately leads to a triple threat at Evolution for the Intercontinental Championship. That is my early prediction. Liv Morgan, man. Deeply unfortunate incident last night. Simple takedown, tries to protect herself and dislocates her shoulder. Obviously a big loss, but a big loss for a couple reasons.
So many storylines can tell.
So many like a top star, but like Liv Morgan was also in the midst of like 3 different stories.
You got the Bellas.
Got the with Nikki Bella, Judgment Day.
Then they kind of teased her with her and Io.
With her and Io at the beginning of the show. I'm
nervous.
I am also nervous. But here's what I think. There are rare instances where a wrestler gets injured and you have a chance to make a star out of someone else. Liv Morgan was a beneficiary of this not too long ago because Rhea Ripley got injured. She won the world title. She took Rhea Ripley's spot in the Judgment Day and made herself a bigger star. So what is my solution? You give every single thing, because I don't believe Roxanne is going to win her semi against Jade. You give every single thing you are going to give to Liv Morgan to Roxanne Perez. You let her face Nikki Bella. You let her take on the what am I trying to say? The brunt of the work with the tag team championships with Raquel. Mm-hmm. Once she figures out whatever she has going on with Rhea Ripley, of course. I'd give her a world championship match. Like, I legitimately would give her a world championship match. Not saying she has to win, but like everything Liv Morgan had going on, I would give to Roxanne Perez.
And if the two parallels of them are so crazy, because like Roxanne in NXT when she was a face, it worked. You know, unfortunately, I think Cora got hurt, so they had to like make Roxanne the heel. Roxanne heel character works like Liv. Her first title run, her as a face when she beat Ronda. No, it wasn't really people. It moved us at first. Over time, it didn't really click. Now she's a heel. Her Dom stuff worked. You know, the Rhea beef worked. Same thing with Roxanne. Roxanne could go. I think Roxanne is a better wrestler than Liv. You know, this is Roxanne moments. You want to build a star in Roxanne? Here you go. Throw her in with the big dogs.
I think it's the best thing you can do. Like it's a natural story fit for several reasons. Obviously, I believe they were in the midst of like Finn and Roxanne were in the midst of like trying to oust Dominic and Liv from the Judgment Day anyway. So now
AJ lose, he don't have a title, and
you know that's a way to get him out of there. And it's like now, like, well, what you can do is, Liv Morgan would still be a member, but instead of her just like, necessarily kicking Liv out right away, because obviously she's going to be out for a minute. I think they said it's like a 12 to 16 week thing. What you do is you just like, you know what I'm saying? She's essentially, you get her to hog all the spotlight, you know what I mean? Like you get her to take all the opportunities that Liv would have had, and you just run with it. When she comes back, maybe Roxanne's all like buddy with Raquel.
Buddy with Dom.
Maybe buddy with Dom. I don't know. I don't know about the Dom thing, to be honest. I don't know. Like I said, I think they were gonna kick him out, but I think you wait on it. But she doesn't necessarily have to like because I know like Liv Morgan, like when she like ousted Rhea in a way, she like romantically pursued Dom. I don't know if you have to do that, Roxanne, to be honest. Like I think
just give them the boy chicken nuggets every week.
Yeah, I don't think it has to be that, but yeah, I think the most natural thing for them to do, give all of that shit to Roxanne and like really give her the ball, establish a star like right away. I think that's the best thing to do. Obviously, it is a very unfortunate incident, by the way. Prayers to Liv. Hopefully, it doesn't keep her out too long. One of the bigger stars in WWE, regardless of gender. It would suck if she's out a long time because, SummerSlam is in New Jersey, and that's her hometown. So hopefully, something works out. The Big E Invitational. Plus Jey Uso.
Brother, we can see you, right?
Yo, that nigga Graves said, "Yeah, we got what they like to call a Big E special." I'm like, bro, Jey Uso is standing in the ring, bro. Like,
brother, it's barely 2:30. If that.
That shit is so crazy. But yeah, man. Like I said, aside from, first off, I don't want to, like, I'm not shitting on him. Like, he got his shit off in this match. I thought it was pretty good. But for the most part of like a Haas match, like with a lot of big guys like Rusev, Brunson, Sheamus. So listen, I have an opinion, and I said that I believe, aside from maybe I will say this. This is my opinion, but I believe there are 2 or 3 names you can name, and I wouldn't argue. But I believe Sheamus is the best WWE TV wrestler ever. Like, strictly TV. Not talking about, like, overall. I'm not talking about, like, pay-per-views, all that. Strictly television, I think Sheamus is the best WWE television wrestler ever.
That could do some digging on that, but I'm not mad at it.
Like
Sheamus
he
has
always delivers, bro. He always
it
delivers.
has been banger after banger after banger after banger.
Like it is not just a catchphrase. Like he really be getting off. But yeah,
I wasn't a huge fan when he first came in, so I'm not too sure about that. Plus, that was like my break. But since I came back, him and Cesaro, I'm gonna say hot take him. That's one of the best tag teams ever. Or maybe because they just clicked on TV. The chemistry was there. I'm trying to think who else Sheamus had. Sheamus like and Drew and all of them. Gunther, I'm sure they had some stuff on TV that clicked well.
Mm-hmm.
His recent run since he came back, he's been killing it. So I'm not mad to take it off. Cause Sheamus, he goes.
Man,
when the lights come on, he's ready to perform.
He deserves that Intercontinental Championship, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that.
Well, we know. We just don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know when, but like it's time, man. We gotta. That is literally the last belt for him to have. He's had everything since he's been there. That is the last belt for him to have, bro. Has to have it. This match was a little chaotic though, man.
The Fed is back. The Fed is
the
back.
Fed is back.
The Fed is back.
A lot happened here. We get a Sami Zayn run in. We get a Penta run in. We get a Braun run in. Obviously, we get a Braun run in. We get an LA Knight run in, which leads to Bronson losing to Jey Uso. But after that, the post match was like also like equally as intriguing to me. Seth Rollins comes out, kind of disappointed that like this is essentially the second crack
plan.
I
must add him and Becky in Green Bay wearing
Chicago colors was a nice touch. Becky just straight out wore the jacket, but he came down there with like real
Dicker
subtle
style,
like,
what I'm saying? Suit.
Had the blue blazer on, had a little tie with like the orange and blue accents. Very subtle, but like hilarious. But yeah, it comes down kind of just like this is the second time that two of his guys have kind of had a crack at the King of the Ring tournament,
which I like.
And didn't get through.
Don't make them overpowered because they still. We know what they can do, but let's just slow it down just a little bit.
Yep.
They ain't got to be that dominant right now.
So both of them lose. He comes down like he about to put the boots to Jey Uso. He done taking the blazer off. He taking the tie off.
I thought that stomp was coming, boy.
Man, Cody Rhodes music hits.
I said, wait a minute.
I'm like,
it's Monday night.
Exactly. I'm like, yo, like it's Monday, bro.
My brother, where do we go from here?
So listen, I am I'm terrified. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me tell you why. So I'm not gonna lie to you. We sat here last week and I said Seth Rollins' focus seems to be the World Heavyweight Championship. And then John Cena kind of reinforced that when he cut his promo on Friday and was like, well, Seth Rollins would never cash in on me. He knows I'm gonna leave with this particular belt and he gonna be the only champion. But then I started to think about it. After, and this is quite literally after the Cody and Seth interaction, I started to think about it. I'm like, yeah, he wouldn't target John Cena. But he might target Cody Rhodes. He might target CM Punk on the off chance of CM Punk winning in a couple weeks. I'm like, he wouldn't necessarily target John Cena. But them other two, I just don't know. Granted, him and Cody are supposed to be friends, but like obviously things have shifted since then. So I don't know.
And I think Seth is 0-3 against Cody.
Yeah.
So
what? Easy way to pick up
number one.
Easy way to pick up number one. Just come in when a nigga done had a hard fought match. So yeah, I am intrigued because like although I did still feel like he was the safe option to win the briefcase, it truly him saying it was about him having power is truly showing. Like it is truly showing. There is a chance that, like I said, he could be focused on the world title. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. He could. I mean, you could always beat up on an old ass Goldberg if he managed to win beat Gunther for the title.
Please, no.
You could always probably beat up on Gunther after he done took a few spears from Goldberg. That's also a possibility. But like, when you like really look at the other side of it, it's like I don't know, man. Like, yeah, he might not cash in on John Cena, but yeah, you other two are not safe. And you got to remember, like, it's supposed to be a draft coming up after SummerSlam, so I mean, Shit can get interesting. So yeah, man. To answer your question of where do we go from here, I have no idea, but I'm terrified. Cody is not safe. I don't think we get to that second WWE Championship reign as easy as we think. So I'm a little unsure. With that, we have concluded our Monday Night Raw review. But the men's and women's King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring semis are now set. I believe 2 of these take place on Friday. The other 2 will take place next Monday. We have Bliss versus Asuka. We have Zayn versus Orton. We have Jade versus Roxanne. And Monday, I know Monday for sure we will have Cody versus Jay. We can start with Bliss versus Asuka. What do you think?
My heart is telling me to pick Asuka. That's what I'm going with.
Okay. All right. You got Asuka? Okay. Zayn versus Orton. I'm going to take Asuka as well. Zayn versus Orton.
Zayn.
Give me Orton. Because they kind of set up something with Cody and Orton in that Cena promo. Mm-hmm. So give me Orton in that particular matchup. Jade versus Roxanne.
You want Jade?
That's good. Give me Roxanne. Think it's a good matchup, good test for her. Wouldn't be mad at Jade advancing, but I'm gonna take Roxanne. Cody versus Jay.
Cody.
Definitely Cody. Jay just lost the world title. I don't think it would be smart to have him in the King of the Ring final.
Let's give him a break too, please.
Yeah, got to do something else with him. That is it for us today. Quick note: we'll not be here next week. I will be on vacation. We'll be back on the 1st of July, I believe, which will be the 2nd because that's when it'll come out. From there, Night of Champions will have already happened, so we'll have review from that, review from the fallout of that. But check our socials. Once the card becomes final, we will make a prediction. But yeah, this was episode 10, man. Very special. Very glad that we've been able to do this for 10 episodes. Hoping for 10,000 more, to be honest. But yeah, man. As always, I'm Chris.
I'm Barry.
We're out of here, man.